Warning: the following video is performed by a trained professional. It is meant for educational purposes only. Please do not attempt to try anything you see here. Enjoy.
Hey YouTube, Dan from South Hawk Computing, and here today we have another card DVR camera, the R300, purchased off of eBay. We're going to do the standard field test with it, unboxing, and as well as take a quick peek at all the menus that it has. So let's get right to it. Okay, so we got everything unboxed. Here we have the GPS receiver for the camera. I believe it will tell us the speed as well as our location with the proper software. The very often Chinese, very limited instruction manuals here. They typically don't have too much to tell you other than the average stuff. I think I said the window mount already. The clip for the camera to attach to the window mount, the camera itself. And of course the cigarette light adapter with USB for the power for the camera here. So, okay, we're going to have a look at all the menus now. Alright, so let's have a look at this particular device here. We've already done some test runs, so we're just going to go through the menus real quick. That's the power button right there. Now right off the bat it immediately starts recording, so I'm just going to hit OK to stop it so we can see the menus. One of my biggest complaints is these letters on this dial here, because this is the interior camera here. You always want to try to click the camera, but you need to click the OK button here. Now that it's not recording, I'm going to hit the menu button right here, and yeah, here we are, menu mode, recording mode. If we go into there, you get to select if you want just the front facing or the rear facing camera or both. So in my last test I was just doing the front, so I'm going to select both there. Basically here you're going to set the time, whether or not you want to format the SD card. TV output if you're doing NTSC or PAL, the European standard there. Beeping if you want it on and off. If you want it recording audio. Your language. LCD default. Do you want it on or off when it's initially turning on? Your sensitivity on the G sensor. Frequency. And reset defaults. And that's it. There's no real configuration here for doing, quality if you wanted improved resolution on your capture here. And that does it for the menus. So let's take a quick look at what the actual software does that comes with this camera.
Already, we have the SD card inserted into this machine here. Unfortunately, you can't just plug in the USB directly from the camera. It just does not work that way. You have to physically remove that SD card or micro SD card from the camera, put it into a standard SD card adapter to actually view what's going on. But the interesting thing is, it's not a traditional way of viewing it. If you see here, this is our micro SD card. We open it, and there's an application. Normally you would just have your footage all in order, maybe date and time stamped and all that fun stuff, but you're actually required to open this fun little utility here. Now navigating through this is not the easiest thing in the world, I'm going to give that much, but having the GPS feature is pretty cool. The downside is I did find that it took approximately 15 minutes of it actually running with the GPS sensor going in order to give me out an appropriate location. If we could scroll down here, it's one of these guys here. Hey, look at that face. No, we're getting closer. Almost there. It's one of these. It's me driving around, but I want to just show you one particular part, which I thought was pretty cool. In real time, it will show me my speed up here. We can change that to miles per hour when I hit play, as well as give me the footage of the front and interior camera here. So let's give a little preview of how this looks, as well as the G-force sensors of what they're picking up while I'm driving here. As you can see up here, it's giving my... Whoa, maybe I shouldn't be showing that. Alright, so... yeah, it's pretty cool. In real time, it's showing, any bumps that it hit. I can see it on the G-force meters there. By tracking in real time, and it's pretty slick. Oh, and that time the suction cup happened to fail me, and that's why that big shock to the sensors there. But you get the point. It's pretty neat. It's nice that it has it, but unfortunately it does take 15 minutes or so to get it accurate reading of location and speed. So it'll pick up within the first 5 minutes, but it really doesn't matter. You have to wait the full 15 minutes. Now, if you wanted to save, say, your footage or something like that, it's kind of strange on how it does it. These are just like containers with subcontainers in here, so you could actually select what part of that particular run that you did and what you want to save. And you have your save button right here, and if you want to delete it, that's fine too, or take a screenshot. That's also nice. Over here, basically you have your turning your maps on and off, turning on and off your G-force sensors, and rotating your image. Repeat is kept on. Cam-L, not exactly sure what that is, but oh yeah, and also an adjustment here for a larger display, which is nice. I think it's pretty cool that you have this GPS tracking. I'm sure parents will certainly taking advantage of that. Okay, so this is our channel 1 and 2 sample, the exterior and internal camera, both on, recording at the same time, as well as the GPS is running, but you wouldn't be able to see that obviously. But pretty good quality here. If you're expecting more detail than this, you might as well just look at a different camera here, because this one will not produce it. While driving around, I did notice that the suction cup was a bit cumbersome. It took a couple of attempts to firmly get it on there, so that's another thing to be aware of. But the interior camera seems pretty good when there's plenty of light, and the exterior seems pretty good when you have enough light during the daytime hours. So now let's have a better view of that front-facing camera. As you can tell, the quality on this thing is not the greatest. As a matter of fact, it's probably the worst video quality that we've seen in all the cameras that we reviewed here. And, as we remember in the menus, there's nothing that we can do to improve it. What you see is pretty much what you get here. Within this next sample here, it's an early evening shot. As you can see, we can still see everything on the road, but unfortunately, inside the interior, it's starting to get really hard to see anything. Only the places that have light, the camera is still performing pretty well. For our final shot here, it's a nighttime channel 1, meaning front-facing camera only. The camera does okay when there's a couple of lights, but once those city street lights are gone, you're barely able to see what's in front of this car. The area that the car's headlights are illuminating are barely visible.
Okay, so here we are. As you can see, I got a little creative with the zip ties here. Basically, I wanted to keep the wires out of the range of the interior camera here, as well as over here what I did with the GPS sensor. I was able to keep it up against a window, so this way I didn't have it permanently secured somewhere in my vehicle. I didn't want to commit to that with this particular GPS. Let's talk about the good with this particular model. The two cameras, interior and the exterior view, which is actually pretty nice. You don't see that too often in a lot of these dash cam cameras. The GPS sensor, as I was stating before, giving you location while you drive and speed. That's actually pretty nifty. Although I wasn't able to change it to miles per hour on the camera itself. There was no setting. But in the actual computer software, as we saw, we were able to change it no problem. And the fact that you have this cool third-party GPS software is actually pretty nice. Again, you can get both views while you're viewing, as well as your current speed and location off of Google Maps. The bad? Well, the poor video. Unfortunately, this thing could be so much better if they allowed increased quality for these particular cameras. But as you saw in the raw footage there, what you see is what you get, and you cannot make the actual image any better. Another negative for this model is the audio. With all the cameras that we currently reviewed here in the lab, this one had the worst. It was very scratchy at times, and then once you add engine noise, forget it. You're not really able to figure out what people are saying unless they're screaming or extremely loud next to the camera. And the final negative, I know I said that I like the software and everything, but the fact that you actually need the software to view the footage, to me that's kind of a negative. And the fact that you have to remove the SD card out of the camera and put it into the computer to view the footage, that's actually a little bit of an annoyance as well. So, would I buy it or toss it? Well, this one here is going to be kind of a tough one. I would have to say toss it. For a $41 price point, even though the GPS is really cool, that video quality is really what annoys me about this camera the most. You would expect with all these nice gadgets on here, you would actually have better video, but it's the one thing that, it's the one crucial thing that most people need when they're recording here. They want to be able to get license plate numbers and amongst other things that probably get lost with the lower quality of these cameras. Now, if you're a parent, you probably do want this camera. The fact that you're able to record the front as well as the cabin activities and the speed to which your teenage driver is actually doing, then yes, absolutely, I would say buy this camera. It gives you the full package when it comes to monitoring your child's driving habits. Well, that pretty much wraps it up. As always, if you like what you see here, give this video a nice thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment, do all that fun stuff. It'd be greatly appreciated. This is Dan from Southall Computing, and as always, until the next time.